plays games with Steve
and Angel. All right, here we go.
After the incident, Pearly was there.
Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
Here you go, little girl. Have some coffee.
Who is this Pearly?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye.
So when did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on! Pearly would never tell a lie.
Look how cute she is!
She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Maybe don't say that enough.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath.
Ha! The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
But Mr. Godot!
Let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections.
This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright?
Let's get this cross-examination started.
Let's get it started and let's get it started in here.
Let's get this cross-examination started. Phoenix, right? When there's trouble, you call PW.
Oh,
Very good.
Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side that night.
Hold it. So where did you think?
Where did you?
So where do you think? Sorry, I love it. I was gonna say, I'm like, oh, this game isn't as riddled with typos, but they're really starting to creep up now in the later half of the game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as bad as the second game.
No, that was oof.
Yeah.
So where do you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place?
It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Donim.
The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone.
Hold it! She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end?
Eye to eye?
Eye and angle?
Well, you see, Pearly gets pretty scared when she's alone, but there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times.
The inner temple side has two structures, the training hall and a spare prep room.
And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it.
There was a storage shack too? Pearls was looking for other people, right?
I prefer Storage Shack 1.
Would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully?
Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack.
How did none of them freeze to death?
Oh. The next day when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room.
Hold it! Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge?
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearly said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Poor little girl. All alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock.
So, watch any fun TV shows? She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls.
What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple.
Hold it! So it was your first time on the inner temple side. Mr. Godot?
That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question?
Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness.
What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor.
Oh shit, touche, Mr. Wright. Oh well, what do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say.
It's not an answer.
Doesn't answer my question.
If it hadn't have been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains? I think I'll pass.
So he had never visited Hazakota Temple or the Inner Temple? Huh? Huh? That's what...
Yeah.
It's more like he has.
Yeah, it's like Inner Temple, huh? Yeah.
Ha! You want to say something, Trite?
Yeah, I want to re-say that.
I want to say that again. Yeah.
In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. Well, I cross-examine Maya, that is.
Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Inner Temple side, right?
Yes. Then Mr. Godot. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
Hold it! He cheered her up?
That's what Pearly said. She said he has a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Both are true.
Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush.
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves. More ways than one.
They're just doing, in that person you grew up, the jump rope scene where they're like clapping. The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way. Godot style.
I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way. Gangnam style or judge style.
Gangnam Judge.
That's
style.
if this game was made like 10 years ago. Yeah.
This would have predated it by at least
No, I know. I'm saying if this game had been made,
4 years. Yeah.
God.
Maybe I should ask some questions. Phoenix style.
Oppa Phoenix.
Oppa Phoenix style.
God. Forget it. Cheering Pearls up. Godot's investigation.
You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Beauty?
Misty Fey, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western tastes? Did he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So from there, you headed for the prep room?
Wait a sec. What did Godot just say now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Donim.
Player was also stuck in that. That's when Mr. Godot arrived. Brace.
Hold it! Shoot him up.
Okay, we can do it. Ha! There, cut it out. You made me blush.
Oppa Chill Pearls Up style.
So you cheered Pearls up?
When I found that little girl, the first thing she asked about was her cousin, Maya Fey.
Really?
The bridge had burned down and she was huddled up in that tiny shack with no heat, even though she must have had a truly terrifying night out there. She asked about you before she said a thing about herself.
Pearly.
I noticed that you weren't anywhere on the Inner Temple side, but I couldn't find it in me to tell her that. So I gave her my last cup. With milk and sugar, to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth.
I like it black.
What a sweet story. Beautiful.
He had a thermos of coffee? Why doesn't that surprise me? There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Donim.
Gotcha. Alright, so... The next day, when the bridge was found in the room, Mr. arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He was found pearly first. Okay. So, found pearly first. So, I think this is the thing I have to contradict because it wasn't his first time.
Okay.
Proof that what he said was weird, though. Hanging scroll, misty face image is obscured by gravy. They didn't cleaned it up afterwards. It was ruined. Oscar Temple. Do. Magatama. Stone lantern. Dusky bridge photo. Dagger. I mean, my gut says that was a weird thing that was brought up.
Why is that weird?
Yeah.
I can't really explain it. It's just that he had mentioned it.
Mentioned what?
That it had the gravy on it. Like he saw a beautiful lady, surrounded by the sweet aroma of beautiful Western cooking or something.
What is weird about that statement?
What is weird?
Or think about what are we trying to prove?
That he was there the day prior.
Okay. So think about what he said, and why is that weird? Click it.
Oh,
What?
because it's completely covered. How would he have known that the lady was behind it?
How shrimp-interesting.
You know.
Hey, lady! Objection.
Hey, gravy!
Gravy! Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
Hanging scroll.
But Mr. Godot's right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
Like, are they really rolling it in there? Like, and it still smells good.
Yeah.
The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
I make really good gravy.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye.
Ooh.
Gravy.
That does sound good. Can I have some?
Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So, if you know the meaning of the mark...
Then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there.
Oh.
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste.
Okay, I did remember the Western part. Oh.
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place.
Japanese gravy on. Can I ask you just one little thing, Tride?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene.
Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Uh-huh.
Well, what did you say?
Of course he knew about the plan.
Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan?
That another poison?
Yes.
I don't know.
Possible?
Es posible. Es posible. Orders from Morgan Fay opened once before. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel later. Her name is blank. Here's a picture of her. I'm gonna channel her. This is a blank. Burn the blank. Gravely. So the thing that we are... Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Kunai Master's talisman, worn by Elisa, found in the garden of the inner temple. Crystal sphere evidence found outcropping near the Dusky Bridge. So he hadn't seen Pearl until the day after the murder, right? Or no. He's arguing that, like, he said that he did see the poster prior to the gravy.
Okay.
So
what are we trying to disprove right now? Or prove, I guess. Is it possible another person knew that plan?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
My thought is that Pearl can't read, so she asked Godot for help reading this letter. That's my thought.
Here's my thing.
ProZD hint.
Pearl can't read.
Yeah.
But you can.
Yes. Oh. Be careful, once night falls, there should be...
Not necessarily what's in the plan, because
Right.
that's just the plan, right? We need to... Is there any possibility that someone else could know about the plan?
Where's her Morgan Fay? Opened once before. Press the A button for details. It was opened once before. Oh, by him?
Take that. I'm sorry. I thought that was a good hint.
Thank you. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
This is clever. Very clever.
Thank you.
This crime was actually planned over a year ago.
Oh my god.
You might have forgotten this tidbit. So
Yeah.
Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However,
Hey.
Hi. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed.
Unsealed?
Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
And you're saying this crafty killer is me?
You bet I am.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden.
If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center?
Well,
Yes.
I do it all the time. The guard is there.
Yeah.
Oh no, the hat gets taken off. It's Godot. It's like, holy shit.
I was important the entire time.
No, that didn't happen though. Yes. It could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of
We
there.
just look back. Oh my god, the guard had the Godot mask the entire time.
Like a
just like
glowing
all
red.
the different flashes of flashbacks. Yeah.
Spy Kids, Spy Kids,
Yeah.
Spy Kids.
I love Spy Kids. Sorry, yeah. I read this already. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot.
Order, order, order! Mr. Godot, you're under fire again.
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the one that could have acquired this information before the murder.
The only one.
The only one.
The only one, sorry.
Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
Darkness.
Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean?
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness?
That's right.
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural.
Objection! However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Okay, Trite. I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you.
Well, what's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together.
Inextricably.
Inextricably.
The one one person. Well,
Inextricably.
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 well,
Can I see that word?
Inextricably.
Inextricably. No.
Inextricably.
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 There you go.
Inextricably.
inextricably.
Inextricably. Inextricably.
You know, I'm gonna press me a thing.
Take that! There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you.
God, it stopped for a second. The song.
Larry Butts. After all,
Sister Bikini.
Jay, for that edit, can you just I don't know, slide Larry's profile picture like that in, and then just immediately just gets batted away? If you need help, ask me. She is Mia Fey's only sister. Sister.
Mia Fey.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your Honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now.
Oh, yes, totally. But why don't we all just say it together, what this is?
The obvious.
The real name of this man who calls himself Godot.
1, 2, 3.
His real name is
Melissa
Diego
Foster.
Armando.
Oh, shit. Larry.
His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. That name rings a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise.
Rude. But accurate.
That's just the PG version.
Yeah.
But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense lawyer at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia, you can't cry yet.
Jesus.
The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
He reached out with that bloody hand.
I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
I just remembered! So did Angel! 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned!
Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
Some newspapers at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
I see.
My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
I see. That's terrible.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poisoned brew.
And it did not deter you from drinking coffee.
Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
I see.
5 years? You were asleep for 5 years?
And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed?
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee. Dahlia Hawthorne. Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
It's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live?
The first was you, Trite.
Huh? Me?
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault.
It wasn't like that.
I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were.
So that's why you became a prosecutor?
My other reason for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Karine Village incident was resolved, I won't do a boodle-doo because it's very dramatic.
To the hotel!
I didn't miss any, right?
It was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
That's how you overheard Pearls' visit with Morgan at the detention center.
I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices.
Accomplices?
Iris of Hasakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey.
But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government?
Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Karine had great authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you?
Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
She was always...
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff.
Her staff? The one with the sword in it?
The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay, if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother...
Holy shit. That night,
Oh, wow.
the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight?
Well,
If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
okay.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up.
She was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of, and that's why Misty Fey had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body.
What? What do you mean?
If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself.
As Master of Khura'in, Misty Fey's power was supreme, so that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fey wouldn't be able to.
What?
What? Is this true?
My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fey. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne.
Godot.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, Trite.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it, you're a great defense lawyer. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fey, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot.
Oh, shit.
Well, Trite, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick! Please don't.
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me too.
Maya, I know that.
Nick.
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
Miss Fey, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony.
Oh.
Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. Don't go anywhere either. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder?
Ooh.
Save? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be a real bummer, dude, if we,
I think I'd scream.
Oh, God.
Let's do
And then
this.
probably weep.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to hear me weep.
Kind of want to. Anyway.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out, and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed, and I lost consciousness.
These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them.
Perjury.
I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Ha! Things break trite, even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya's telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness.
Ooh. The time of the Moya. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them.
Hold it! Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Godot's mask either.
I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but
Brace how do.
just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time, but I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she could remember the details of the scene perfectly.
All right then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights?
I froze. That's the
I didn't move.
You're supposed to
That's the
stop.
rules.
I thought I'd ask for help, but that's when it was spider-man blurred.
That blood. Was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at that moment, I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by.
Soft ice cream.
Oh, you haven't had enough of that? It was.
That was scoop ice cream.
For context, Baskin Robbins. The video I did.
Baskin Robbins?
Baskin Robbins. Take the stick back, Elmo. Anyway.
It was a woman's voice.
So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right?
Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation.
Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her.
Hold it! Struck back? How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and the movement, and also the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot
Truly.
of murder trials. So then what did you do at that point?
I'm numb to it now.
Yeah.
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I think so. But suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark.
Hold it! They went out?
Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
Well, what could it mean?
If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight,
Maybe the mask was damaged.
maybe it was knocked off.
Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right, Trite?
Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working.
What could have really happened then?
Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream.
Hold it! What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard? Was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure It was a man's voice.
What? So then that scream came from the killer.
That's got to be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me.
Sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder.
But
I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct.
Remember the testimony she just gave? Before the killer wow, God, I keep thinking that into the question mark. Remember the testimony she just gave before the killer let out a scream? Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff.
If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite.
There's only one thing I could think of that could have been used as the weapon here.
If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer?
This guy, right? I mean, blood doesn't match the victim, so it's gonna be this, right? Yeah.
Take that! Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Hey.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well.
Objection! Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim.
Objection! Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested?
Yes.
Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
Ooh.
So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Trite.
Order in the court.
Is this the end? Have I done it?
No, one more investigation phase.
Oh my God.
No! Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test.
Ha! Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer.
Huh?
Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
What?
Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already a bloodstain on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes, what does that prove?
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it.
It can't be!
In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance!
What?!
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. All right then, witness. Continue your testimony.
Hold! Not me.
Hold it. Wait a minute.
Hold!
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Maya?
This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But if Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
We all wear the one outfit. Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes? That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder?
So you had different pairs of clothes?
We only have the one, right?
I thought we all just dressed up like Scooby-Doo and his friends.
Everyone that was on the Inner Temple side got trapped there.
Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed, the police headed for the Inner Temple.
Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes.
Order in the court. What the witness said. Objection. That's it.
Objection.
Sorry.
Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes?
Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess?
Yes.
You don't take your smart pills or something?
Yes.
Well then.
I just got Wow, Toy Story. All right, anyway.
What if we don't?
What if we don't? Judge had... Anyway. Only for us. That's only for us. Anyway.
Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way, he wouldn't get any blood on them.
Objection! That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid.
Ah!
Ha ha ha! So that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this.
Yerk.
Right now, if Mia Fey were here... If Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already.
If Mia Fey were here. Here?
So come on, Trite! Can you do it or not?
How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer, but can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I could prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it.
Ha! That's good. A fighter to the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we save?
Two. Three. Yep. You want to save it a second time?
Nope.
No, I mean, that was a bit.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway.
And we don't repeat bits. Why don't we go
Never.
for the unlimited penalty?
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite.
So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. Gotta think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
All right then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got.
There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing.
There's only one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
Hidden?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound?
Oh,
Yeah, it's so satisfying to hear this song again.
Yeah.
This is a callback?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a track from the first game, but it's a remix.
Talisman. Worn by Elise Dunham, found in the garden of the inner temple.
Oh yeah, and of course, also if you need to know, you should run this by us before you. present.
Okay.
Or
The
don't.
talisman. This is. I mean, what exactly is this? Is it like a
Grand
lock?
Master's talisman. Elise Stoneham was wearing it.
Okay. Found on the outcropping near Dusky Bridge. Has blood on it. Came from the victim's staff. This one is evidenced by Larry Butts. He hid it.
What are we answering here?
Let me hide this for sure. Where's this location? Where's this location where you say the killer hit his wound?
Okay. Think about it.
Where he hit the wound?
Mm-hmm.
I think he wiped it with this letter, and the reason why it's burnt isn't because like Pearl tried to burn it and hide the evidence. It was because he used it. Or is that no?
Well, you're thinking of, okay, so sure, let's say there was a wound.
Yeah.
If this were the case, how would he be able to hide it? Like, what have they said about him?
Oh,
Why is this so difficult right now for them to prove?
why is it difficult?
Because it's like, okay, well, the killer had to be wounded,
Yeah.
and he has had no time to change or do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this weird then? They already talked about it. What is the challenge right now?
Oh, to figure out like where is he's wounded.
Okay.
I mean, I want to suggest that it's beneath his mask.
Okay. Then what should we present for that?
What should we present for that? Is it up? Is it officially called a? Oh, it's a hood. Is that the same thing? A mask? Perceived for the lights out bell protects from evil spirits. Is there no other mask? At least autopsy report. Tracks photo. Crime photo. Larry sketch. Crystal sphere. This stuff. Master talisman. Worn by the burnt letter. Okay, so it's not that. Dagger. Dusky Bridge photo. Taken the morning after the crime.
Sorry, for the mosquito.
No,
Oh.
you weren't giving yourself a self high five.
I see. Attorney's badge. Magatama. Occult New Year's magazine. Hanging scroll. Images secured by gravy. Yeah. A mask. It's beneath this mask photo of Elise. Am I overthinking it? Is it just this? No.
What does this say?
Receive before the lights
What
out.
is the evidence called?
Iris's hood.
What are you? What?
Oh, because I'm thinking like, is a hood the same thing as a mask?
Well, this isn't
It's not
Godot's
his.
Okay.
hood.
Original report. It wouldn't be in profiles, would it? No. Oh, fake Godot. Iris. Elise Donim. Morgan Fay. Elise Donim. I'm overthinking it. Or not thinking about it at all. Evidence. Why is it? Victim staff.
What is your theory?
It's beneath his mask.
So what do we present?
His mask, or
Okay.
how do we present his mask? Dagger. Skip bridge photo.
Do we have any, like, evidence that has Godot's mask in it?
His mask in it.
No, we don't. I'm just gonna say no.
Oh, we don't? Oh.
Have you ever seen Godot's mask or anything?
No.
No, that's never, ever, ever been in any of these.
Okay.
So, what do we present? If you just want to be like, hey, it's under his mask. What do we present?
Just him?
Well, because,
Check what it says.
Oh, what is it?
well, that's not even that.
I know. I was actually asking to see what
Oh,
it says.
no.
A
I mean-
prosecutor who is shrouded in mystery. He seems to know me somehow. What do we... Wait, I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
You are trying to say that it's under his mask.
Yeah.
So what picture do we have of his mask?
What picture do we have?
In either just
What picture do we have? This picture of him? This profile?
it has
It has his mask. Okay.
in it.
Okay. Does it say okay?
Take that.
Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, trite? Oh. What was that just now? Mia. It can't be. You're living on through him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound.
Oh god.
It's beneath your mask!
Okay.
During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved.
He exploded.
Just now, I saw her spirit in you.
Huh?
I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison, and my god, you were a fucking weenie. And then,
He did the thing.
while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Godot.
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me.
You yourself.
I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head-on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit.
But, you saved Maya!
Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason?
No. Why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
What do you mean by that?
That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl, but I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything.
Mr. Godot.
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. No shit.
Thanks.
Your wound. It's bleeding.
Ha! Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears.
Tears?
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Oh shit.
This time, it really is all over, isn't it?
God, I hope so.
Defendant,
Yes, Your Honor.
although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor.
Nope.
Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk, and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing I'd like to say to Mr. Wright. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright.
Huh?
I want to apologize to you
Apologize? To me? For what?
for the case 5 years ago, of course.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
died.
Even now, 5 years ago, but no, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
Yeah, I was. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean?
You and my sister. You only met twice.
Huh? We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way! It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia.
I hope one day you can forgive me, Feenie.
You mean...
That's right. I lied to you for 8 months.
Oh
my god.
But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and the surveillance, she couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place?
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
Isn't that kind of funny though? Are you thinking back now? Do you remember the stuff from that first case?
What do you mean?
Phoenix is like, oh, my Dahlia, she's so sweet. She always says the nicest things. Please give it back.
Yeah.
And we're like, haha, that's so funny.
Oh.
But now you know why.
Please give it back.
It was so kind of meek and all that.
Yeah.
Please give it back.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Huh? Notice what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine.
Iris.
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you, too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you. Wow.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Fuck, that's good. Don't you think so? Phoenix, right?
He said her name.
Ah!
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Why can't I have a cup? The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Stonim. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty.
But guilty of other things.
But guilty of other things, but less bad things. Court is now adjourned. Also, this is the craziest fucking case I've ever
Yeah.
This is fucking bananas.
Can we throw? It's like no confetti. It's like we're too tired, Your Honor. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I wasn't expecting this. The confetti's got all mushy.
We saw a fucking ghost. That wasn't even the end of it.
Yeah. Pissed everywhere.
And a Magatama.
Oh my god.
The image of Edgeworth in Francisca sitting in the course is so funny to me.
That's Chappie. That's Magatama.
So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended. Was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served.
Take it, Angel.
Mia.
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando. The man who cared so deeply for you.
You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense lawyer could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you could learn from me.
Mia.
You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Mia.
I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix.
No. I've handled lots of cases and seen lots of
It's
things.
true. Over 3 playthroughs.
Yeah. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick,
Maya,
I guess it's just like my sis said.
your sister? Mia?
That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry. Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick.
Maya. How? How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Youch! Francisca!
Still as softy as always, Phoenix Wright.
Excellent work, right?
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, when did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow. But where were you, Nick?
I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day like a baby.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head like a baby.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca.
And that's why we're the best friends club.
I don't suppose.
There's room for me in this group hug.
Yeah, it's awful,
Is
sorry.
there? They just push
Push him into the picture frame.
Oh, Larry.
What's with the longer than usual face?
I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone. Not even once.
Hey, that's progress.
That's not true. Right, Nick?
No, that... What? You're asking me?
Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world? I've got a place in this world, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh yeah. Those portraits you painted.
They were really good. Isn't that
really
right,
good.
Edgeworth? What? Me?
What are you making? Why are you making that face? Huh, Edgy?
Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that's lacking resemblance.
Do you really mean it? What about you, Francie? Did I draw you well, too?
My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So then you'll do it? Like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture book, Francie? Something
Whiplash
stupid?
splash? Don't get carried away.
Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. Painting a pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh?
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around.
Pearls? Where could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Oh. Hey, Pearly.
I like the things you do.
Hey, Pearly.
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened.
Yeah.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
But what do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry.
Someone who has hurt more deeply? Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya? Edgeworth. I think I'm starting to understand, too.
Ow! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Fey being strong for? And confirm it. Don't get this wrong. It would suck.
Wait, but we don't have... Oh, well, I wanted to say for Phoenix, but we don't have a portrait of ourselves. So for...
Who was hurt the most deeply by all this shit?
Probably... Oh,
No.
well, no. Well, Pearl...
I mean...
Yeah, because her
She
family
was almost
sucked.
tricked into killing her favorite
I mean,
cousin. Her
Yeah.
mother is evil, in jail forever.
But I mean, Misty Faye was stabbed.
Yeah.
I mean, Bikini was pretty bummed. Pearl Faye, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Take that!
Pearl Fey. Not Godot?
Poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Faye clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy.
Yay!
It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya.
But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Faye's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable.
And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake. Until she could see her smile again. Until she.
Oh, hey! So this is where you all were. Best friends. Why is Larry here? Wow, looks like we got quite the bunch. Ow! Well, what was that for, sir?
I assume they all have the best friends club rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't talk... the first rule of Best Friends Club is you don't talk about it in front of Larry.
Because I do want to treat the rest of this game with some sincerity here. Who's in the best friends club? It's Phoenix, Edgeworth, Francisca, Gumshoe. Is Maya in it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Maya's
so
in
it's
it.
the five of them.
And Pearl's in it.
Yeah, Pearls.
That's it.
They added
Yeah.
Pearl right in front of Larry.
Yeah.
That's
They give her a
right.
little ring.
That's right. Like she was a late member because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I got this club with Pearls. Like, Pearls, you want to join our club? Yes, God, yes.
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My VIP just seems to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just sort of kind of gone down by a teeny-weeny bit, but it's all right.
Why? You did your job
I
this
made
time.
reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight.
Uh-oh.
Ah!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That VIP was your reward.
Oh, I kind of liked it.
Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean...
Très bien. Where else?
Is everyone that worked there like arrested at this point?
Yeah.
I knew it. We're doomed.
Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, stupid crybaby. You're invited too.
Oh, forget about me.
Okay, well, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
If you insist.
Pearl and I will be at the Loser's Shack eating potatoes.
No, Pearl's coming with us.
No, she's...
You know, Maya has taken an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls.
Oh, no.
Oh, Maya, what's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearlie, I can't find her anywhere.
Huh?
I'll bet you just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe,
Yeah? What is it, pal?
could you guys go on ahead?
But what about you?
Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls.
Nick,
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. You may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, but you're the... Ah!
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, right?
We won't.
but where should we look? Where could Pearlie have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I could think of that pearls might have gone to. Of course, yeah, the main temple, yeah.
Luke Atmey's house.
Wow, wow,
So you finally come
welcome
to
back. Do you like my cell?
Where is she?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I thought you liked me. You followed me on social media.
Hazakura Temple.
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place.
Sorry, I'm back. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back so soon?
Sister Bikini?
I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So she's here? Pearlie is here?
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Okay. Oh God, I'm all the way back over here. Pearlie's not here.
Ah! Maya! The hanging scroll!
Oh, it's back. Someone cleaned it off. They licked it clean.
It's got to be pearls.
Ah! Mystic Maya.
This little girl went 2 hours up into the mountains
Yeah, I'm
with no public transportation.
yeah,
Well,
I'm resourceful, bitch.
What?
I can
Jesus.
drive.
Maybe she should have been the head of the Fae clan.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, final boss.
no.
Ghost of Morgan Fae.
No.
Okay.
Pearlie, why? Why did you just leave like that?
Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya!
Oh.
I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother...
That's why you came here?
It's the least I could do to pray for your happiness.
You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course I'm sad that my mother is gone, but how do I say this? I'm still happy.
You don't have to lie just to make me feel better.
No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do.
Mystic Maya.
I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty.
Miss Sister Bikini. Almost said Mr. Bikini again.
Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. Doodle-doo-doo!
After dishonoring the good name of Korine, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die.
Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh?
Huh?
There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die.
That's the Master's talisman.
The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents.
No.
That's...
A photo?
Mother.
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question.
Oh my god.
Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them.
Oh my gosh. That's a secret rare.
Yeah, that's an ultimate rare. Yeah.
Well, shall we get going? Everyone's waiting.
Ah,
This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
but I still can't.
Oh, go on, sweetie. You could come back for training anytime.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to make a brand new start, too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise.
I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back.
All right. We're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance.
Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight.
You know, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but
What is it, Nick?
reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3?
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us.
Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Huh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course, naturally.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right?
We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick?
You know, I was wondering if I could say just one little thing.
Sure, of course you can.
Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then, here goes nothing.
Objection! So all together.
Objection!
And that's Phoenix Wright 3.
Wow.
Trials and tribulations. Here begins the gauntlet.
Oh god. I really have to work extra hard now. Master of Kunine and the office manager of Wright & Co. law offices. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearlie and Nick too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that.
Seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, seems like a pattern.
And I miss out. It's FOMO because it's like, oh, well, what happened? Oh, Edgeworth and Francisca are back? What the hell? Oh, shit.
That guy's got
What
horns.
the fuck?
So it's true. Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too.
Oh shit, that's for
I
hard
think
mode.
I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret
I
reservation.
wonder what photo you unlock with that one.
Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just it's more detective-like, sir.
Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly.
Oh,
Oh.
so you're into that? Okay, I guess I could get into that.
Figure it out.
Start small. Mr. Wright, I'm once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Kunine exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year.
They're fucking.
She taught me how to use his whip, and said that I must show you what I've learned.
Oh, they fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, they fuck.
That's another ship.
Yeah, well, yeah.
She said I'm real good with it.
It's all you.
Yeah.
Desi and I started a company called Mass to Mass Consulting.
We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city.
Our motto is, cut it out, please!
Pretty cute, huh?
Well, we also sell plants to the criminals as kind of a side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminal.
They're the new Team Rocket,
I like that vibe.
but for good.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Team Sprocket.
this is the thing.
I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him $500,000 in a tea set, a special thick tea, one I mix with my own two hands. I bet he's drinking it now, win through compromise.
Phoenix gets on the mail. I'm like, Maya, I don't think we should drink this.
Let's send it to Gumshoe.
Yeah.
No, thanks, pal.
Yeah. I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy clown. No waste of time. At least that's what I thought.
And Flash.
But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper.
Oh.
Nice.
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 Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elg. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adamata.
Oh, wow.
As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly.
We're also going to hire Stanley Yelnats.
I want him so bad.
Stanley Yelnats. Wow.
My. More reporters? Since the murder, we've made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I could hardly wait for Iris to come back. Wonderful Pearl.
All of SungWon's characters died in prison.
Yeah, that might be.
Is that it? Oh, no. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed. I'm so sorry.
Voice. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they found.
Oh
him
yeah.
He did a voice. Ben Grommen Judd. Meet the Gromlins.
The grumblers. Objection.
pregnant. Oh yeah, I should have said objection before.
Sean King or
Sean
Sean
King, I
King?
think.
Objection.
Christina Catano.
Objection.
Oh, yeah. James C. Wilson. Some of these sound vaguely familiar. Oh, it's
I feel like all these are like Capcom staff.
Yeah.
oh.
Because they are like one of the people who've been localizing the games for a long time.
Oh. Oh god.
Like I believe
Christina
Janet Sue has been localizing since Justice for 4, and they've still been doing it since like the
Damn.
new Edgewood.
Here you go, buddy.
Oh.
What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation. No one is here to greet me? I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper Billy quit and now I've got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? What with all the flashing lights and switches, I feel like some sort of space alien. And now what am I going to do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back for everyone? If I bring them over to anyone who's exactly what he saw them, are they going to accept these? I'm afraid of something just as painful to these fragile hearts. Oh, when will I ever find a gentleman who's virtually like a fine lady?
Oh, I missed her.
I did too, actually.
Yeah. I would have
Just swap one Larry appearance with an old bag.
seriously. Like, why was
Ah!
Oh god.
I finally found something I love to do. Franzie's Whiplash Splash is going to turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all.
Wow. Burned us all.
Cheer, everybody. Let's hear it for Larry. Hip, hip.
Oh,
Oh,
he's kinda good.
Oh, he's so good. I love that drawing.
the best friends club
Yeah, exactly.
and us.
they're honorary
The
members.
Dead Friends Club.
Isn't he still alive?
I guess he's probably gonna die in prison, unfortunately.
No. Wow.
I have zero tolerance with murder.
Wow. No, John Armstrong.
No, I think
he went to
I think
jail
I
too.
think he's also in
That's
prison.
true.
That's the thing.
Well,
Holy crap. We did it.
what do you think, Angel?
That was great. I love that it like really tied back like so many
So good.
loose ends for the whole
Steve?
trilogy.
I'm with you now. I mean, a long time ago, this was my favorite, and I went back to 1. This is my favorite. This is my favorite.
I think I've said this on a bunch of Let's Plays, including, I think outside this one, it's my favorite game. And but I was still on the fence. I'm like, the Bridge to Turnabout, is this like my favorite? Without a doubt, that is my favorite case of the entire series. I feel bad for Angel. I think this game really went hard with the profiles being evidence, and it would get frustrating.
Yeah.
I don't think think this is the last game where they use that. I think there's other games where they implement that, but it'll be something separate. So
Yeah.
I realize looking back, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of difficult sometimes.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you did great. I think I think you like as usual. Like we all, especially like it was just a super fun experience.
And Angel, I hope you go back and watch this because there's so many
Foreshadowing.
so much bits of foreshadowing throughout this game, and I kind of don't want to blurt them out.
Yeah.
Right.
God,
I mean, like not being able to see the ketchup was good.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff.
I love this game.
Yeah, and I mean, I was mind blown. Was like, oh, the coffee poisoning, like that all came back.
Yeah. That's great too.
It's so good. And I turned around on Godot too. I liked Godot at first, and then I think when I replayed it, I'm like, oh, he's kind of an idiot. But now playing it again, I'm like, no, he's not an idiot.
He's problematic. Like he definitely should not have blamed Phoenix for Mia's death.
Oh yeah, no.
But it's also like, man, tough situation to come out of, right?
Right.
You were poisoned. You lost 5 years of your life. You come back. The love of your life is dead. Like, and yes, it was the wrong thing to do, but he's a compelling.
I think it's like a very compelling conflict. Like it's very interesting. It's unfair, but it's like it makes sense. It's like a tragic backstory.
Yeah.
I loved them.
How does this stack up with you compared to the other ones?
It's tough. I think I really like this ending a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like the cases maybe are less iconic to me.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay.
Like I do like a lot of the Dahlia stuff.
Yeah.
But like I think like it's weird. I think I like the dressing of the cases in 2 a lot more. I think because there's so much like flashbacks and like callbacks to like the same location, it almost feels like it's a bottle episode kind of.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I just like topping.
In which case?
And this one in general, the game in general, with being at the cliff and stuff, the bridge,
right.
Even though the circus sucks, I it's a fun location.
We get it. You're a clown fucker.
Yeah. Editor 2 had so many fun things, and I there's no Larry. It's a lot more fun.
I will say, like, I think the biggest flaw of this game, too much Larry.
Too much Larry.
Too much Larry.
He really
Just throw in a lot of please.
And I was wondering, I'm like, like the second and third cases, I'm like, do these stack up compared to others? And while maybe like the sum of its parts, I don't like maybe aren't like don't stack up. I really like the characters in them.
Yeah.
I think like Luke Atme and Firo Tigre are some of my
really
favorite antagonists.
Those are like
in this
top
series.
tier Ace Attorney like minor villains.
I will
sure.
I will forgive an annoying third case for just like characters like that.
Yeah.
Like I loved that bit so much.
Yeah.
Really good
I feel like the Al Pacino meme was like beautiful picture. It's like me with this game, like beautiful game.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the original trilogy.
Curious situation we find ourselves in.
Yeah. There are plenty of other Ace Attorney adventures out there. We will probably play more in the future. But maybe you'll find out one day.
I will say.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people predicted that we would go back and play the original trilogy. I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to do it.
And thank you to Leo for sending us this Wii with the games so that we can play them in the original sprites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that is like the ultimate way to play it, I think.
I still agree. Yeah.
yeah.
I know probably the remastered version cleaned stuff up and obviously the typos, but the look of this game.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
But Angel will be back. Not soon. At least not for at least not for Ace Attorney.
They'll be back for Killer Instinct. No.
Yeah, that's right. Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
But for those asking about future Ace Attorneys, Angel, it's like James Bond. Angel will return.
Oh yeah, like Avengers.
Yeah.
But before we sign off, I don't know if we could do this on mic, but I did bring gifts for my co-hosts.
Oh.
Yes.
Really?
I bet you were wondering what this tube was all day.
I
didn't notice.
I did not see it.
Wow, I was slicker than I thought. I just had it out in the open at one point, and then I moved it over to me to make sure I didn't forget.
Well, maybe we'll show a photo. You know how they showed a photo of the Best Friends Club at the end?
Yeah.
We'll take a photo of the Best Friends Club with our gifts at the end. Jay will put it here.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Angel. You were a great pilot.
Oh, thank you.
And
Glad to hear it.
We'll be excited to have you back for more in the future.
Yeah.
Let's open these gifts. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Congratulations!